Hello there, it's Sarah from Paper Lovely. Thanks for joining me today. I've got 3 cards to share with you that I created using the Spellbinders July Small Die Kit of the Month. Here I'm giving you a quick look at what was included. So this die will create a puppy and kitty cat that you can actually combine with a few of the previous dies that we've gotten. I am pulling in some pattern paper from my stash. This is +1 from Amy Tangerine. It is an older paper pad, but I will go ahead and link it for you below if I'm able to still find some somewhere for you. So as I was saying, these dies will actually coordinate with a couple of the other die kits that we've had previously. So if you are a member and you have the little kits from the Valentine's Day this year, this is the perfect size to go with a card where you could use both of these, and you can also add one of these little guys in the back of the pickup truck that we got last year around October or November. And I only used the truck in my video, but I will link both of them for you in the Spellbinder shop so you can easily find them if you don't already have them. So as you can tell here, I'm just showing you how I placed everything together. I'm going to put together one of the cats and one of the dogs, and then I will jump into card number 1. So while I'm placing these together, I'll just let you know the color cardstocks that I used, and I used these same for all 3 cards. So the cat is Paper Tray Ink, Sweet Blush, and Orange Zest, and MFT's Poppy, After Midnight, and Black Licorice. And then the puppies are Paper Tray Ink, Cocoa Bean, Sweet Blush, Tropical Teal, and then MFT's Hot Fudge and Poppy. And the Tropical Teal, the After Midnight, and the Poppy, those are what I used for the collars and then the food dishes. So here for card number 1, I've grabbed one of the pattern papers and I'm trimming this down to 4 by 5 1/4, just strategically going around all 4 edges there to get my frame somewhat in the middle. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp out my sentiment. This is from ReverseConfetti stamp set, A Friend Like You. This is one of my favorites. I go back to it again and again. It has some great just hello sentiments and some funny ones like I miss your face and some thank yous and just really nice sweet sentiments for cards to send, even when you don't have a specific reason. So I went ahead and stamped out that hello my friend on the front inside that frame, and then for the inside I'm stamping out you are totally awesome, and I'm on my usual Nina panel trimmed to 4 by 5 1/4, and I'm using my usual VersaFine Onyx black ink. So I'm going to grab that front panel here, add some ATG to the back, and I'll place that on top of my card base. This card base is made from MFT's Pineapple cardstock, and again I'll add some ATG to my inside panel and place that down as well. Next I've grabbed my cat here and I'm going to add some of my sticky thumb foam dots behind there just to give him a little bit of dimension. Peel away the backing and I will pop him in place. For the inside I've grabbed one of the bowls as well as one of the little fish, and I'm going to just place that in there. I'll add some art glitter glue to the back and then add that along the bottom of my inside panel. Finally, I felt like my front of my card was just a little too plain, and I loved these little fish and bones. I thought they were so cute, so I had cut out a bunch of them. I've just scattered them around, just sort of moving the heads and tails to give this a little bit of variety, and I'm going to go ahead and glue each one of these in place. And then I do have some you'll see sort of sticking off the edge there. I wanted them to end at my panel, but since I had already placed it down, I had to figure out a way to have them running off the edge and still get rid of that extra. So I grabbed my fingertip craft knife, and my head's a little bit in the way there, but what I did was just run that right along the edge of that panel that I had trimmed out very carefully to make sure that I was just cutting through the fish and not into my cardstock. And that will complete card number 1. So here for card number 2, I've grabbed another piece of this pattern paper and I'm going to trim that down to 4 by 5 1/4. Again, working with this same friend stamp set, I'm going to use this for all 3 cards. I'm stamping out the sentiment, "Life is better with a friend like you," using my VersaFine Onyx Black ink. I'll add some ATG to the back of that and place that on top of my card base. And this card base is made from Paper Tray Ink Hawaiian Shores. I've got 2 puppies that I've created here. I'm going to add some art glitter glue to the back and just place those directly on top of my panel. Then I had thought that I would stick that food bowl there in between them, but I thought it looked kind of funny to have only 1 bone, and when I tried to add 2, that didn't really look right either. So instead I decided to take one of the bones and place that in one of the puppy's mouths, just for something a little bit different. And I'm going to glue that here with some art glitter glue. I just slid that as far as I could under his little mouth nose area there. Here for the inside, I'm again on my Nina panel, trimmed to 4 by 5 1/4, and I'm going to stamp out the sentiment, "Your friendship means the world to me." Again, I'm going to grab one of these bowls, and here I'll stick a bone inside this one for the dogs, add some art glitter glue behind there, and then place that at the bottom of my panel. I'll add some ATG to the back of that and then place that on the inside of my card base. And that will complete card number 2. So here for card number 3, I'm going to pull in the truck die set from last year. I have trimmed out the sentiment "Thanks," and I'm going to pop that here along the back of the truck. And the cardstock I'm using is MFT Black Licorice and Poppy, and then Paper Tray Ink Smoky Shadow. I've also used some of the foiled cardstock in silver for the mirror and the bumper section. So I'm just going to use some art glitter glue and place that together here. I really love this truck die set. I think this may have been my most favorite out of everything from last year. So I've gone ahead and grabbed another one of those pattern papers and trimmed out a sky panel to 4 by 5 1/4, and then I used an additional pattern paper. It's a sort of a green with some white stars or flowers in it, and I used the included grass die to go ahead and just trim out that to go along the bottom. I've attached that with some ATG and then added ATG to the back of my panel, and I'll place that on top of my card base. This card base is made from MFT's After Midnight. And here I'm going to go ahead and just pop my little kitty cat in the back of the truck there. And I'll hold him in place and add some ATG to the back of all of that together. For the inside, I'm again on a Nina panel, trimmed to 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm going to stamp out the sentiment, "Lucky me to have a friend like you." And again, I really loved this bowl at the bottom of the panel, so I've grabbed another one of those, added in a fish, and I'm going to glue that towards the bottom corner here. I'll add some ATG to the back and then place that on the inside of my card base. And then I had this idea of trying to maybe make like a fish cloud in the sky, and I couldn't figure out how to make it work, but that's what I was going for as I was putting this together. I felt like I needed something at the top to sort of anchor this scene a little bit more. So I grabbed from my stash, this is just some Nina scrap that's cut with the Lawn Fawn Puffy cloud border die. This is the smallest of the 3 clouds that are included. And I've just gone ahead here and I cut that at a bit of an angle just to give a little more interest. But I trimmed that to, of course, 4 inches across. And then, however, I thought it looked nice. I want to say at max, it's probably the largest point, maybe about 1 inch long. And then I'm going to go grab one of these little fish that I had cut out and add that into the clouds. So I think it at least sort of gives the idea of what I was going for. And that's going to complete card number 3. Here are a few close-ups of the finished cards. In the description box below, you'll find my blog post, which has additional photos and links to the supplies I used. If you enjoyed the video, please leave me a comment or a thumbs up and subscribe for more. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.